It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out of my mind. It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. I'm putting you out, trash day. I'm putting you out of my mind. Now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up.
And welcome back to another Can Crushers Wrestling podcast. It's the Spotlight Edition. You know, each and every Wednesday we have a professional wrestler come on the show and we spotlight them, their career, what they're doing in wrestling right now. We've had the likes of Ricky Morton, Nikita Koloff, Barry Horowitz, the list goes on and on and on. You guys can go in the archives and find them, right? Well, this week is going to be a very cheerful edition of the Can Crushers Wrestling podcast, as we have the cheer captain of professional wrestling, Malik Mayfield, coming on the show. I gotta ask him if cheer, because he was a cheerleader, if cheer helped him when he made that transition into professional wrestling. Yeah, how much wrestling is he watching? I'm gonna make a comparison, because I have not made a comparison in a while. So I have to make a comparison of who I think he is in the ring compared to who he is in his own mind. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, so on and so forth. So many questions to ask him, but you guys know you have to wait until the podcast, the interview, to hear that. So let me tell you that we're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All of it is at Can Crushers 69. That easy. Head over to our website, Can Crushers 69.wixsite, wixsite.com/Can Crushers. That's where everything's archived. You can find every episode there, along with on Spotify, on iHeartRadio, on iTunes, on Google, on Stitcher, on Boxcast, it's like I'm naming all Santa's reindeer right now. But we're everywhere. You guys can find us. If you guys want to reach out to us as well, send us an email, cancrusher69@gmail.com. We'll answer questions, we'll get you booked to be on the show, or slide into our DMs, as the kids nowadays like to say. But we have to do one thing first before we talk to the cheer captain. We have to tell you about Collar and Elbow. Hats, hoodies, tees, sweats, all the great things that Al Snow and his group at Collar and Elbow Wrestling have for you. Make a huge list, check it twice, and then when you go to check out, the promo code is Can Crushers. All one word, capital C and Can, capital C and Crushers, and you will save 10% from your entire order. Alright, here comes Al to tell you more about Collar and Elbow, and then when we come back, we'll have Malik Mayfield on the show to talk about wrestling and cheerleading and who knows what else. You know how it is on Can Crushers. It's usually a train wreck.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
And welcome back to Can Crushers. Guys, you heard how excited I was to talk to this next up-and-coming superstar. So much crossover in wrestling and cheerleading because it is the cheer captain, Malik Mayfield. Malik, welcome to Can Crushers. How are you today?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing well. You know how I really am. It was my Christmas party, and I had a little bit to drink, and I'm there. I'm definitely there. I have a headache the size of my house, but I'm set. I'm good for Can Crushers, Malik. Is that all right?
Yeah, it happens. I understand it.
It does happen. It was a long night. But you are the cheer captain. You are the cheer captain, and we'll get into all of that. But how did you get your love for cheerleading? Because you really see it in your gimmick, and we'll get there. But cheer's a major part of your life, right?
Yes.
Did you?
I was.
Go ahead.
I was. I was a cheerleader in high school, and we went to competitions. I think it's UCA champion for small co-ed in high school.
Oh, you are. You actually have the trophy, the ribbon, the title belt, whatever you want to call it.
The school gets to keep the trophy and the banner,
right. But you have something of it?
Yes.
Yeah, nice. Back-to-back years, just 1 year. Are you guys a dynasty?
Only my senior year.
Only your senior year. You could have lied a little bit there. We are the freaking dynasty of cheerleading. That would have been better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me how both of these wrestling and cheer, how did cheer prepare you for wrestling? Or was it not in the stars at all?
It wasn't. It was just one day I just got up and I was like, hey, I'm about to go to a wrestling show. And everybody there was doing the same thing. So I was like, what can I do different to make myself stand out? And I was like, okay, I do have a cheer background, but cheer and wrestling don't go together.
I don't know. I love it. We'll dive more into your gimmick here in a minute. We will. How did you find wrestling as a little guy? Was it mom, dad, Uncle Joe that said, hey, Malik, you have to watch this because as wrestling nerds and marks that we are, it's the greatest thing in the world. It is what I live for. You can ask my wife and my child. Like, I move heaven and earth to talk to wrestlers like you and go to events, so I nerd out big time. How did you find it as a kid?
So I was one day, I was like little, and it was just me, my mom, my grandpa, and my grandma, and we was just sitting down watching wrestling, and from there I just got hooked. I watched it every single week.
So it was a family thing. It's essentially like me. My grandfather was the first one that said, hey, Mark, you have to watch this stuff because you keep breaking stuff around the house as it is, so at least calm down. Maybe you can watch this with me. And that's so it was a bonding experience the whole time with you guys. Did your grandfather and mother and everybody watch it with you then from here on out?
They stopped around like 2004.
Okay.
And I just kept going.
Of course. Of course. So, some of your favorites growing up then. Who did you like and who really caught your eye?
Rey Mysterio is one of them.
Okay.
Jeff Hardy.
Okay. I already, by the way, what we talked about before the show, I'm already way off. I'll tell you that right now then. Because I'm already way off. Go ahead.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Well, that's a given. If you don't like Stone Cold, Stone Cold. So when you turned of age, did you do the double beer thing at least once?
No, I'm not a drinker.
Oh, if you're completely straight edge, I apologize. But yeah.
No.
Okay.
I just don't drink beer. Beer is not. Yeah, no.
Okay. You could do it with bottles of wine too if you wanted to. I think it would be a little bit more messier, but yeah. Why not? Let's try it, right?
Yeah, just a little bit. I'll try it one day.
All right, good. Make sure I'm there. I definitely want to be part of this then. If I gave you the idea, I want to be there, and we're going to make it happen. So
make sure you're there.
You're originally from Florida, correct?
No.
Oh, see, my snooping is wrong. All right. Where the hell are you from then? Because I thought that you're originally from Florida.
I'm originally from Mississippi.
Okay.
And around 2004, I moved to Oklahoma, and I've never been to Florida. But when you think of cheerleaders, you think of Daytona Beach, Florida. So I was like, hey, look, there's the opportunity, and it just stuck.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a. I do think of it in. Get ready. I'll probably get laughed at. Maybe not by you, but my co-hosts when they listen to this and the rest of Can Crush Nation. I'm a big supporter of the cheerleaders as well, because when it's on ESPN2 or whatever, that whole competition, man, I'll wave the flag that cheerleading is a sport. You guys, gals, do everything. There's training involved. Everything. It's systematic, and it's essentially, get ready, this is where I get the heat, Malik. It is like wrestling to me, because it is a show. It is, a presentation of skills. And essentially, that's what wrestling is too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never thought of it like that.
Yeah. See? I understand this. I'm getting better at comparing everything to wrestling, by the way. Everything's compared to wrestling in my household.
Yeah, I've never really. Okay, I like that.
See? Helping you out a little bit. So when did you make this? You're in cheer through high school and everything. When did you come up with, I'm going to wrestling? I'm going to make this happen. You said you kind of stumbled upon it, essentially.
Yeah, I always knew I wanted to be a wrestler. I said it all through like high school, middle school, elementary, and then I'm working at a local grocery store, and I was like 260. I looked pregnant, like really bad.
I'm
and
sorry.
I'm like, it's okay. My coworkers tell me all the time, but it was just like, I was like, I got to do something different. I can't be at a grocery store for the rest of my life. I want to do this, and I got to make it happen somehow. And I saw a flyer on Facebook for a local show in Oklahoma, and I was like, call my sister while I was on the clock. I was like, hey, we have to go to this show together. She goes with me. We sit through the show, and I talked to the promoter, and he's like, yeah, we train every Tuesday, Thursday. The show was June 14th, and I started training June 24th.
Wow. A week, essentially 10 days, but essentially a week later, you're in. You went to this indie show, and what indie show was it? Is it where you're at right now, right?
No. I'm at NCWO right now.
Okay.
The show was All-Star Pro.
Okay.
And like I still wrestle there, but we're moving buildings and revamping and making it bigger. So
nice.
Yeah.
So training, you go first day of training and you're all set up and you're ready to go. To you, what's the hardest part of the training? Because again, I'm going to keep going back to this gymnastic experience that you have. You can do the flips. You can do, and you have the cardio for it as well. I know, yes, out from high school until you were pregnant working at a grocery store, you might have put on some weight or whatever, but mentally you were still prepared for that. You know what's to come. So what was the hardest thing for you in the training aspect?
Honestly, it's one of the most simplest things ever. I couldn't run the ropes to save my life.
They hurt.
3 months.
They hurt.
Yeah. At first they do, but now it's like,
Go ahead.
Doing it, it was just like, in my mind, I was like, I can do it. It took me 3 months to learn how to get the steps down and how to turn, and I'm like, maybe I'm not cut out for this, and I just kept going. I would spend like hours after trying to learn how to run the ropes.
The bumps were easy for you?
Yeah, it's essentially just like cheer.
Yeah.
Like, if you're falling to the mat, tuck your neck.
Yeah, so you came up with a little bit of a leg up on, did anybody else start the same day that you did?
My current tag team partner, Luke Richmond.
Oh, look at that. Wow. Which Luke might be on the show here in the near future as well. We reached out to each other as well, so way to ruin that. No, I'm kidding.
My bad.
Yeah. All right, that's cool. So, did you feel? I'm going to start a fight between you two. That's my goal right now. Break up this tag team. No. Um, did you feel I got this guy? Because you didn't know him, did you?
No, I did not know him at all.
You're like, I got this guy, because there's always a competition when two people are going into something brand new. If it's me being a garbage man and another garbage man comes on, I'm going to be like, I'm going to throw more garbage in this asshole. I can do this.
Yeah, that's essentially what happened.
So, did you guys connect that night then and kind of, hey, this is what's going to go on, and I'm going to beat you because I'm a cheerleader? And he was like, no, I'm just going to beat you because I'm rougher, tougher? Anything like that? Any smack talk, I guess I'm saying.
No, it took him a while to warm up. I'm a talkative person, and he's not so much talkative. So it's like, I come in my first day and I'm like, hi, I'm Malik. And he looks at me and he turns his head and I'm like, oh, so he hates me already. And I've never even done anything to him.
These are the stories that I love. These are the stories that I love.
It was just, I don't know. I was like, I'll make him like me one day. And now, me and him talk every day with some more people.
Now you're the best of friends. You're fucking tag team partners. You have to be friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, when you started the training, did you think that the cheerleading, the cheer captain, essentially was going to be your gimmick? Or did it take a couple months of training to think, hey, maybe I'm going to be Gobbledygooker Part 2? And if there's any of these references that I bring up, unlike Robin, that just has become a wrestling fan in the last 6 months. Sorry, Robin, throw you under the bus. Did you have an idea of who you wanted to be?
At first, I did not want to be a cheerleader at all.
Okay.
I wanted to be like this pretty boy, like everything's about me, kind of like rough bad boy, like in a sense. And it didn't work whatsoever.
Well, there's also a million of them out there, Malik, as well. Yeah. So I don't know. Julia Hart is a cheerleader on AEW, and there's a couple other around the indie scene, but you have your own spin on it. There's not a lot of cheerleaders, so that instantly separates you from everybody else. The pretty boy that hates the world, and you carry a mirror around that you look like either Rick Martel, the model, or the narcissist, or Tyler from Fandango. Yeah, There's a million of them. I can keep going. But the cheerleader, you already separated yourself, so you know that. Was there somebody in between the pretty boy and the cheerleader then, too? Because I know wrestlers go through this whole identity crisis as they're training, especially some of the guys that I know in Pittsburgh. So, did you go through a lot more, or was it boom, boom?
It just went from one to the other. One of the owner of All Star Pro was like, how you work in the ring, you're a cheerleader. Like, you can't get around it. And I was like, yeah, that is true, kind of.
Yeah, it's in your nature. It's in your blood. You know that.
Yeah.
I don't want to beat a dead horse, but you've been training to be a wrestler since you were a cheerleader. You just didn't know about it, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Now that you've grown up, you know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how long before you get your first match in the ring? And then let's talk about that first match a little bit, the jitters that you have, and was it a one-on-one match? Was it, sometimes, youngsters into the business, they do a battle royal first or a scramble or something where I don't want to say that you're hidden from maybe some of the greenness that you have, but yeah, let's talk about all of that right there.
So, in Oklahoma, you have to have a license to wrestle.
Yep.
So I sent off all my stuff, and the show was like 2 weeks after I sent it off, and it usually takes like a week to get back. So the promoter, he said, oh, they should have your stuff. You have your gear. We're doing a battle royal. So the show's coming, like it's show day, and I'm in my gear. I'm waiting. I'm supposed to be in the last 4. And the commission comes back and they're like, we don't have his license, so he can get in the ring, but he can't be touched.
Oh.
So I was like, okay. So we looked at each other and we're like, okay, how are we going to make this to where you get eliminated, but you don't get touched?
Right.
So in the match, there's like 12 or 13 of us. And there's this women's wrestler, Erica, and like 2 people pick her up on their shoulders and she jumps at everybody. I climb out the bottom. I come back in and Luke's on the other side. I run at him. He pulls down the rope. I eliminate myself. That's the best way we could do it. I was first one out. So I was like, hey, better than nothing. I made a debut.
I'm sorry, Malik. I'm sorry. That broke my heart. That really did hear that. Like you had your debut, but you had no action, so to speak.
Yeah.
You couldn't even throw a punch. You couldn't. Oh man, is that kind of bittersweet, or were you kind of still? Did you pop a little bit for yourself for it?
Just a little bit.
So you get your. Go ahead.
I was happy. I was like, I made my wrestling debut. Like, it's all I wanted, but it was still that, like, that little jitter. Like, okay. Wow.
Yeah, you kind of broke it a little bit as well, so that's good. So what happens when you get your first official match and your license finally arrives? Talk about when you can actually throw some punches and scuffle with some people.
They sent it the week, like the next day they sent it.
Of course they did.
So I got it that Monday, and I was like, okay, the show's in 2 weeks. Text the promoter a picture of my license. He was like, all right, perfect. So we get backstage at the show day, and I'm in a fatal 4-way. It's me, Luke, and I forgot one of the other guys. And then my then tag team partner, Malik Mike. We are going for the new title. It's called Live Stream title. Backstage, we underlined it to where I was going to win. Yeah, we underlined it to where I was going to win. And then the promoter comes up to me, Luke, and the other guy, and he's like, so, Malik, you're not going to win. I was like, that's perfectly fine with me. He's like, we're putting over him, but we're not telling him.
Oh.
Yeah. So we're like, okay. So how are we going to do this to where he wins? Because he was going to get pinned and take my finisher. It's like, so we did my finisher, and then they hop on me, and he's like looking at me. He's like, that was the finish. What are you doing? So they throw me out. And then he grabs Luke and he hits him with his finisher and pins him. And he starts crying in the middle of the ring because he was like, he's going to be mad at me. I don't know what you're doing. And like, I'm like still right there. And Luke's like, shut up. You won. Like, dude, just be fucking happy.
Right. Right?
So,
yeah.
Yeah. We get backstage and he comes back and everybody just starts to clap. And he's still crying. He's like, I'm sorry. I don't know what they did. And then we're like, dude, we just ribbed you. Like, come on. Be happy for yourself. You've been in the business for 10 years. Like, you deserve it.
That's awesome. That you guys kept it hidden from them. Because...
You can't keep stuff hidden nowadays.
You
Especially
can't.
in the locker room, it's little.
Yeah. There's a lot of people, and no disrespect, that with big mouths. You don't want to say something, but you say something kind of like almost backhanded, saying, hey, when you do this tonight, what are we going to do? Just something off the wall that makes them think, wait, what the hell's going on? Or not a screw job because you won, essentially. That's a great rib. That touche for you guys. Nice.
Yeah, it was kind of random, like it thrown up on us at the last second because like we're new, so like we're trying to be like all buddy with everybody, and it was just like, how are we gonna keep this a secret without him knowing? and without him getting mad, essentially. So
Yeah. All right. This is the question that I kind of spoiled a little bit, and I know I'm way off. I always like asking who Malik Mayweather. Yeah, I told you who Malik Mayfield is, the cheer captain. I have 3 wrestlers written down, and I know I'm way off. But here are the 3 wrestlers that watching some clips and seeing, you, and I'll break them down a little bit. One, I see D'Lo Brown, because you do a lot of stuff like D'Lo does. You have, to me, the movements a little bit that are like overboard. D'Lo always came out shaking his head. So I think that little movement there with you. Mark Merrill instantly came because I know when he was like Johnny B. Bad, he was very flamboyant, and he had the cannon with the confetti come out. So essentially, that's your pom poms. So those two kind of go hand in hand. But then this one's gonna be like, what? To me, you're KO as well, because you have that body frame and you don't piss around in the ring. You take care of your business however you need to. So those are the 3 people that I'm so far off that I own. So what do you think about that analysis? And then give me your 3 that you've actually taken from, because everybody knows in wrestling, you borrow something from everybody. So
I've never been compared to any one of those 3 at all. And I like the comparisons.
Okay.
KO, he's one of my favorites now.
Yeah.
He's really good. D'Lo Brown back in the day he was really good. I take from, I can't really think about it. Well, Rob Van Dam won the split leg. Rob Van Dam and Naomi.
Yeah. I missed that. Okay, go ahead.
I have this move called the 386. And me and Luke came up with it randomly because we were trying to figure out how to use my splits, but how to use something from Stone Cold at the same time. So it was just like, okay, how are we going to do this? And then I picked Luke up on my shoulders, and I twisted him, and I landed in a split into a stunner.
I did see that on one of your videos. I didn't know if that was an every match type of. I should have pulled from that right off the bat with Stone Cold then, but I didn't know if that was an every match type of thing, kind of your finish or not. So I thought, well, maybe that's a one-off thing. That's why I didn't pull Stone Cold.
Yeah, I use that on special occasions. Usually, I use the split leg.
Okay, nice. I did see the split leg a couple times. I should have pulled Naomi. Because on your YouTube as well, I really dropped the ball in this one. You also have the Funkadactyls theme song. So, yeah. Damn it. I was way off. I apologize. I need to do better homework.
Good.
Okay.
So, since I've started wrestling, I've been compared to Naomi, Kofi Kingston, Jeff Hardy, and Melina.
Ooh, that's one that Melina now in the NWA, I kind of forget about her every once in a while. I knew Jeff Hardy was going to be brought up. Once you said Rey Mysterio and Jeff Hardy, I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm way off with this guy. I should be. So, all right, let's talk about Malik a little bit. To learn some more about you. If you listen to the podcast we did with Robin, we went down a horrible rabbit hole about cereal. So what kind of rabbit hole can we get in with you? What's your nerd out stuff that you really, time off that you just engulf all the time?
Pokemon is one.
Yep. I got nothing there.
The cereal conversation with Robin.
Don't even tell me you're a cereal fanatic as well.
I am.
Yeah.
That's where that conversation came from.
All right, so apparently everybody from Oklahoma that I talk to, we're going to have cereal talks. That's clearly what it's going to be from now on. All right, bring your cereal game.
Likely. Okay, so when Robin first started, it was me. Well, usually it's just me and Jerome. We argue about like little stuff. But cereal is one thing we have a constant joke about. So he asked me one day, he was like, what goes first? The cereal or the milk?
Oh,
I said cereal.
It's got to be, yeah. You're a lunatic if you put the milk in first, because then you don't get a ton of cereal. Like, you should be sent to the 4th floor or like a rehab center or something. This guy is insane. Go ahead.
I told him, I was like, you're insane if you think the milk goes first. And he's like, but if you put the cereal first and then the milk, you like it makes it soggy with air bubbles. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
What? This guy's
so like we have this ongoing thing about it, and then Robin started it. Everybody after that started, we were like, what goes first, the cereal or the milk? And Robin was like, well, I don't drink milk with my cereal. And I was like, okay, Robin, I'm done with you. You quit right now. Like, I don't know what to say.
The dry cereal is a great snack. You always do not. I'm on that bandwagon with Robin. You always don't need milk with your cereal. But, yeah, you don't. Come on. You've never just, in a binge-worthy night, just grabbed a handful of cereal and just popped it into your mouth?
Nope.
Oh.
If I don't have milk, I'm not eating it.
What kind of milk do you go? Are you an almond milk guy? Are you a 2% whole? Or do you do like skim? Does that make a difference in your cereal?
I do almond milk sometimes and then 2%.
Okay. I'll give you the 2%. We do almond every once in a while, but I think the almond adds a little bit too much to the cereal.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah. You know, there's just too much sweetness then to it compared to just plain Jane, milk and cereal.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's your favorite cereal?
Captain Crunch.
You guys in Oklahoma just do not appreciate Fruity Pebbles, do you? I'm not going to make friends there apparently then either.
Fruity Pebbles is on my top 3.
Okay. Colossal
Berry Crunch is my number 1. I can't do without that. And then Reese's Puffs is my number 2.
I never liked that. I don't think the peanut butter taste is there for me in the Reese's Puff. It's a generic peanut butter. It's not Skippy or Jif. The two number 1, because I'm not a Peter Pan fan of peanut butter either.
Yeah, no.
Okay. All right. Now that we checked that off the list, what else do you like? Are you a video game nut? Music, anything like that? Because essentially, I think we just stole Robin's gimmick of being the cereal Nazi or whatever. Soup Nazi from Seinfeld. She's going to be the cereal Nazi.
Yeah, I am. I play a lot of. Well, I used to play a lot of Call of Duty. Just the basic games that all guys play: Call of Duty, NBA 2K, Madden, WWE 2K.
The norm, yeah.
Yeah.
The norm.
I'll branch off sometimes and play GTA.
Oh, you have to. You have to play GTA. Yeah, just those days that you want to stand on top of buildings and just decimate people, right?
People. Yeah. It's the best part.
It is. Have you played GTA for the story mode ever?
No.
Yeah. My son yells at me all the time. He's like, there is a story in this. I'm like, no, there's not. The whole point of this game is to steal cars, wreck them, get whatever gun you can, and shoot people. We all sound like we're masochists right now, by the way, Malik. We do. But essentially, that's what that game is. The story modes, I don't care that I have to go steal something from somebody else. Come on.
Right. It's something you can't do in real life, so it's right there.
Well, you probably could, but you'd only do it once compared to, hey, I want to spend 8 hours doing this, right?
Right.
If I get locked up on GTA, I just hit reset and I start again. If I get locked up in real life, Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast goes to the wayside. Or your wrestling career. We're done. See you later.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So music as well. What kind of music? Because I know that wrestlers themselves actually have like a couple different playlists when they're training. If it's cardio day, I know a lot of wrestlers here in our area love listening to theme songs, and I actually do that on the back of the garbage truck sometimes. I'll put the WWE playlist in or the AEW playlist in and jam out to Judas or Kofi Kingston's SOS song.
Yeah.
Stuff like that gets me pumped up. But when you're lifting, do you have like a whole different playlist?
No, not really. I'll stick to the WWE playlist and just listen to all the old theme songs. And if it's like really old, I try to guess the wrestler before I look at my phone.
Yes. You should probably be pretty good at that now, though. That you should know within like the first 3 seconds of who they are, right?
Yeah, for the first 3 seconds, I know now. But like probably like 2 years ago, I would have to guess because like I have to refresh on everybody's theme song because it's been so long.
Right. Here's a question that not written down that didn't even think about. When do you like music from like WWE theme songs, as we'll stay on that? Don't you think nows are all kind of generic? Like you could take Bobby Lashley's theme song and put it on, I don't know, maybe Drew McIntyre. They're interchangeable. Where, again, Kofi's SOS theme song, nobody else could have came out to that. Or,
No.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan's back in the day. They were made for people. Today, they're just, cookie cutter theme songs in my book.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to stay in a safe zone to where they don't get like too much away from the actual wrestling.
Yeah. Well, on one brand, on the WWE brand, I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're still a big wrestling fan as well. You still watch a lot of it, I would imagine, because essentially wrestlers' talent like you are actually bigger marks than fans or podcasters like us because you've gotten into the business. We're into the business a little bit on the the tail end side of it. Doing the promotions and the marketing and stuff like that, but you are the business. So how much wrestling do you still watch nowadays?
I watch NXT every Tuesday.
All right, good. Do you like the new NXT or do you like the black and gold better?
I know I'm probably going to get hate from this, but I kind of do like the new NXT.
I think both of them, as I'm going to get on my soapbox here for a minute, are two completely different things. I think that I love that they said the 2.0. The black and gold brand was to kind of get the name out there of NXT and, however you want to say Vince took it over or whatever. I like it now too, Malik. I like that it's brighter. I love the new logo. And I think it's perfect what they're doing because a couple weeks ago on the weekly show, I compared it to it is their indie show now. And I fell in love with War Games. The women's War Game match, that's when I popped the most for the new NXT. I love that of the new era.
Yeah, War Games, my all-time favorite pay-per-view from NXT, and it looks like an indie show. It looks like it's in a basketball gym.
Yeah. And I think WWE needed to go that way with that because everything was getting too overproduced for. They're always going to call NXT the developmental brand for them. So don't overproduce it. Let it be what it's going to be. Do I hate seeing everybody like Adam Cole and being cut and not knowing if they were going to transition to AEW? It's a wrestling show. People make their way everywhere, right?
Yep. It's just one of those things.
So you watch NXT all the time, AEW and the other brands across the board as well?
I watch Monday Night Raw whenever I'm not at training on Mondays now.
Can you sit through 3 hours of it?
Depending on who's on the show.
Yeah. I will say this. I never watch Raw live anymore. I can't.
Yeah.
There's just times I'm like, holy moly. I guess when I was 18, 19, I would have loved it to be 3 hours then. It was a
Yeah.
different era. I'm okay if I would love for them to trim it down to 2 hours and leave us with cliffhangers, because sometimes on Raw they don't leave cliffhangers. They give you everything. It's a new sitcom
Yeah.
every week.
Every week it's the same. I'm like, like some things work, some things don't, but that's how it's gonna be all the time.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. AEW, do you follow that?
I watch every now and then.
Okay.
I kind of try. I try, but like, you know who's gonna win on AEW? So I'm like, I like the wrestling, but I'm like, if I ever want to be on Dark, I already know who's gonna win. I'm gonna watch it, and I'm like, okay, it's Jungle Boy versus said name. Jungle Boy's gonna win.
Yeah, they do that old 80s booking kind of like of WWE superstars, or actually back then it was WWF superstars. You know, Razor Ramon against Rene Goulet. Oh,
Yeah.
Rene Goulet is clearly not going to win this match. Yeah.
It's a name versus somebody who's trying to make themselves a name.
But it's that little bit of showcase time on the AEW brand. So, you know, AEW comes knocking at your door, Malik, and say you're going to be on Dark for the next 3 weeks. What are you saying?
I'm taking it.
Right. You're not an idiot, right?
No.
Yeah.
Hands down, I'm taking it.
Right. Which leads me into the next question. Your goals now for like the next 2 years. You know, you're in Oklahoma. Do you want to branch out and tackle all the United States? You know, check off all 50 states, head up to Canada, go to Mexico, maybe do some UK stuff, Japan. You know, what are your goals here?
I want to do it all.
Of course you do.
I want to get to where I can do any style of wrestling, whoever I get in the ring with. If it's Shinsuke, Mark Andrews, Chris Jericho, Christian, all of them. Everybody has a different type of style. I want to learn all of it.
Yeah. And that's the best way to be in professional wrestling. Don't just pigeonhole yourself to, hey, I'm going to be, and I hate to say this because he's one of the greatest athletes in wrestling, a Ricochet. He's kind of pigeonholed himself a little bit because he knows that one style. And to see him against Brock Lesnar, it doesn't work.
Who's gonna win?
Yeah, you know right off the bat. So I love that answer right off the bat. I want to rewind a little bit, as you said that you found wrestling with your family. How did your family take it when you said, hey, I'm going to get into the business? And just like, you know, Robin's grandmother, guys, if you don't know who we keep saying Robin the ref that was on last week's show, her grandmother, you know, big and happy with her. But is your grandmother helping you pick out some of your attire or making anything for you, or anybody in your family, essentially?
No.
No.
They're not very crafty.
Do you make it yourself or do you order it?
I order it. I order the pom-poms off of Amazon, and then like all my gear, I get it custom made.
Do you personally know the person, or is it like just some, you know, a business person?
It's a business.
Yeah.
But my gear design, my first ever gear design came from one of the girls that worked with me at the grocery store named Alexia.
Really? Shout out.
She made my first gear design.
That's cool. Do you still have it?
Yes.
Yeah. Is that something? Go ahead.
Yeah, she's off at basic training for the military right now, but she was happy when I picked it. So
good. In time, because, you know, wrestlers usually end up with a huge luggage or closet of attires, essentially gear. In time, is that one that you'll never get rid of, but maybe, you know, gears 2 to 10, you know, you'll put up and sell for, you know, marks like me or other people that love owning pieces of history?
maybe. I don't know. Because, like, essentially be like how Beth Phoenix and Edge are, have a gear closet to where you can just look back at everything and you can be like, okay, I wrestled this match in this gear.
That's another good question. Do you keep tabs on every match that you have? Like, I know some wrestlers have little note cards that, first match, my battle royal, I didn't touch anybody, but I got eliminated, and I was in the ring for a minute and 10 seconds, and it took place in Oklahoma. Do you keep notes or a notebook or anything like that?
I have a folder with all the posters of all the Oklahoma shows I've ever been on.
Have you wrestled any place outside of Oklahoma thus far?
I wrestled at Red River in Texas.
Okay. Do you see a difference in the crowds? Because essentially, state to state, I can go to, I'm in Pennsylvania, but if I go to Ohio, the crowd's a little bit different. Sometimes they're a little bit quieter, or sometimes they're god awful, off the wall crazy, and I'm like, oh, what did I get myself into here? Because I'm kind of like the median guy there. But do you see a difference, even from city to city, of crowds in how you have to interact in the ring?
Yes. The crowds in Oklahoma, they're calm. Like, they have their favorites. They're calm most of the time, but the crowd in Sherman, Texas is completely different.
Good or bad way? Like crazy, or just like silent, like New Japan or something? They only mark off when they do a big spot.
No, whoever the bad guy is in the match, they're at their throats the entire time.
Nice.
There's no not like settling down and letting them be quiet. They're going full force the entire time.
Almost like that white heat that, if it becomes silent, then you actually have something to worry about. If you can hear them, you're okay. They become silent, you get your ass out of that arena quickly, right?
No, not really.
No? Okay.
I had a match, and it was me versus Jerome, my coach. And it was here in Oklahoma. We had the crowd the entire time. And then they were silent coming toward the end. And I was like, okay. In my head, I was like, it's the ending. We lost the crowd. We get to the back. My cousin calls me, and she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yes. She's like, there's people in the back crying.
No.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, everybody was in here quiet because it looked like he was like legit fucking you up. They were crying for your safety.
Yes. You're over.
I was like, Jesus. I was like, I don't even know what I did. I'm like, I was just in there doing what I was supposed to do. But it happens.
Oh, that just gave me chills because I could see the moment. Is that you consider that your greatest match thus far in your career?
Oh yes, 100%. Jerome is like one of the best like ever.
Wow.
And he, like, I want to face him. I want to wrestle him again.
You want him to be you two be Steamboat and Flair just over and over and over again. Just tell the story continuously, right?
Yeah, it's just one of those people. Like, everybody has that one person they always want to work with. He's one of those people that if I ever get a chance to work with him, I already know it's gonna be good.
Nice. I like that. I do like asking like two tougher questions comparative to all the other ones. What concerns do you have besides injuries? We understand that with the wrestling business and or like stigmatisms. So I kind of group those both together. That the wrestling business has yet that we need to eliminate. That are just horrible because wrestling's for everyone.
Yeah. So in our group, we're called Chosen Influence. It's me and Luke. He's a wrestler. I'm a cheerleader. We have this girl with us. Her name is Olivia Vagos. and she's also in the group. But there's not a lot of women in Oklahoma for her to wrestle. So everybody shits on women's wrestling. And I'm like, she's in there doing it with us, man. Like, if Oklahoma would let her, she would make half of y'all look better than what y'all are, essentially.
Now, my head is just spun because it brings it back to the whole interview. I know we keep talking about the Rob, but Robin kind of made the same thing, that there's not a lot of, women referees in Oklahoma or even across the board. But there's normally, in our area, we have a ton of women that wrestle. They need to transition down to Oklahoma and kind of do like a spot show, or have maybe like Mission Pro come up and show people that women can wrestle, because this is pissing me off about Oklahoma now, and I'm not going to make friends. Guys, I've said this for a year and a half now, that the women's wrestling on the big brands carried the goddamn pandemic.
They did. Sasha and Bailey did amazing.
Yeah. Why are they not, backing, women's wrestling? I have Rachel Ellering looking at me right now in the studio. Tasha Steele, all these women that bring the fucking house down. Why is Oklahoma still not on board yet, I guess? Because I'm legitimately upset about this a little bit now.
I think it's because not a lot of women in Oklahoma want to do it. Like, we have Skylar Slice, we have Erica Torres, we have Olivia Vagos now, we have Robin, we have her sister, we have Angel Reed, we have Danny, but they can't make up a division by themselves.
Right, you're completely right, and because, all right, you name 6 of them. That's just like, again, Sasha, Becky, Bailey, and who else did Charlotte. Those 4 can't fight each other the rest of their lives. You need that back end. If those 6 that you just named are going to be the 4 founders of wrestling in Oklahoma for the women, they need that younger talent to come up and help them. Be that enhancement talent. Man, wave that flag for women in Oklahoma to start wrestling. I need to start a movement or something, because that shocks me. It really does.
Yeah. We don't have a lot of women here at all. And I'm one of the biggest advocates for women in wrestling.
Good. I'm glad that you're on the show, because I am as well.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Mm-hmm. I met Melina. I talked to her. She told me to do her entrance. And, I'm not doing the full thing, but,
right.
I'm it for it. Melina was one of my favorites. Naomi's one of my favorites. Sasha Banks is one of my favorites. Victoria. All these women who can do what the men are doing, but, they don't have, half the time they don't have the platform to actually do it.
Wow. That breaks my heart. That legit breaks my heart to hear that, or in your neck of the woods, in your area, because we both just said that the pandemic was all about the women, and they carried it. They really did. All right. So big thing is get more women in wrestling down around your area. All right. We talked about where you wanted to travel. What about some advice? Who has given you the best advice, and have you passed that along to a younger group, or maybe even a kid getting in that wants to get into the business that says, Malik, I love you. I want to be just like you. What do I do?
So there's a kid. Well, he's not a kid anymore. He's 20. Well,
kid enough.
I'm a Big Brother fan. So
oh my God, I love you. We're falling in love. All of it. Serial, women's wrestling, and Big Brother. That's it. I need to. Let me sidebar real quick. I have started a tattoo sleeve. Okay, and everybody's logo that I know. Legit, I know Britt Baker, I know Chelsea Green, I know Ray Lynn, if you've heard of those. All their, character logos are on my sleeve, along with, The Rock, Dusty Rhodes, and there's so many more coming. I saw your cheerleader one now. Now that you love Serial, you're a Big Brother fan, and you're an advocate for women's wrestling. That cheerleader sticker that you have, that caricature, you're going on my arm. I'm telling you that right now. You're going on my arm because I'm in love with you. Okay, sorry. I got a little bit of a man crush on you right now. Go ahead. Let's talk about Big Brother.
Yeah, so on Instagram back in like 2015, we did these like Big Brother competitions in the messages. So there will be like one person hosting it, and then like there would be like 16 other people, and we would just do like Big Brother. We would make alliances and all of that. So me and him bonded over that, and every single time we were in the game together, we were in an alliance. So he hit me up about 3 weeks ago, and he asked me for some advice because he wants to be a wrestler. And I told him, I was like, just go in there, don't be scared. Like, see who the person is, make sure it's like a good school. Don't be scared to try anything. Have an open mind. And just like anytime you can get in the gym, just go in there.
Yeah. That's essentially it. Promote yourself, market yourself. It's a simple gig. It really is.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, you're living out a dream, first off and foremost, right?
Yep.
Because that brings me into the next question that I have for you. Can you look back at, little Malik sitting on the floor watching Stone Cold and Jeff Hardy and Rey Mysterio? Can you look back and say, man, I wish I could tell you you're going to make it? Do you see yourself floating over that memory and say, I did it?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I'm like thinking back to like the beginning of 2020. I would have I thought I was going to be a wrestler, but I never knew the steps. So like when June came around, it just clicked, and I was like, I have to do something different to make it to where I want to be. And now I'm here.
And you're there. Young into the business, but you're growing each week. You have a great head on your shoulder. I can tell that already. You have, and we'll be able to promote it here in a minute. You have merch out there. You're on the biggest thing, Pro Wrestling Tees. So you're noticed. You have a fan following. The rest is up to you to make me want to come to Oklahoma. Make fans want to come see you wherever you're at. Like Ricky Morton says, all you have to do is put asses in seats.
Yeah.
And you do that with your style of wrestling. So you're doing great, kid. Pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, I'm trying.
It's baby steps, but it's baby steps.
Yeah. Promoters out here, they trust me. Like, the last show I wrestled at in Oklahoma was NCWO. And the promoter hit me up, and he was like, hey, I have a trainee. This is going to be his first ever match. Would you wrestle him in his first ever match? So, I was scared because I've never actually called a match before. So I was like, okay. And we get out there, and I walk him through it perfectly. And every single day we go to training now, he thanks me. And I'm like, I don't know. I just went out there and did what I was supposed to do.
Right. You took care of him, you took care of you, and you guys did your spots, essentially.
Yeah.
And how did the fans react during that match?
We were on the VIP show. So it was still one of the bigger crowds that I've ever been in front of. It was VIP show was I think 75 to 100 people.
Oh, nice.
And then after the VIP show, they let everybody in, which was 300 people. But I have pictures, and most of the people were their facial expressions were into it. His family was there, so it was kind of hard to get him over as a heel because his family was cheering. But
yeah, that's always a bad thing when your family's there. And
yeah,
they're gonna love you if you killed somebody the night before. They're gonna love you. They're family. Yeah.
So it was kind of hard, but eventually we got him over as a heel. His family still cheered him, but
Ah, family. They can mess up the whole business sometimes, right?
Just a little bit. I'm scared to ever turn heel in Oklahoma because my family's here. So it's like,
Does your family come to a lot of events?
yes.
Yeah, most of them, essentially, I would imagine, right? Being the
Um,
wrestling fans that they are.
yeah, the ones in Oklahoma come.
Nice. That's always good when you're getting your ass beat, too, that you can see a familiar face in the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, as well. Not that you're getting your ass beat, or you're beating somebody else's ass. Yeah. All right. I love this question, and trust me, I know this is your first podcast as well. You're gonna be on a lot more. Trust me, I already see this in the near future for you, and we're gonna have you back and chat and everything like that as well. But
Alrighty.
you are going to get this question all the time, and it's going to change 7 million times for you in your wrestling career. So I want to know the first time. What is your dream match? But I always add a caveat to that. I want to know the stipulation, I want to know who, and I want to know, like, where. And don't be generic and say Madison Square Garden, because God forbid everybody wants to wrestle in Madison Square Garden. We understand that. Give me some place that means something to you.
So, if it's a singles match, me versus one person from AEW, I really want to have a match with is Dante Martin.
Nice. Okay.
Place, that's harder because it's anywhere, to be honest. The ring is the same everywhere we go.
I like that. A lot of people don't say that, but I like that that's honesty, because people want to have 50 million people at AT&T Stadium or whatever. Does it really matter? Because if you put on a banger, and it's a trick question, by the way, if you put on a banger, it's going to be picked up and people are going to see it, and billions
no
of people are
going to.
going
No matter if it's in front of no people or if it's in front of 1 million people.
Right.
The ring is the exact same.
Right. And do you have a stipulation?
No.
I will throw one in then. I think you and Dante Martin in an Iron Man match. 30-minute Iron Man match.
I would love that. That would be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you guys can both go. That the whole drama of, you both pick up a win real quick, and then maybe he picks up one at the 15-minute mark, and you have to fight back for 14 minutes, and you get one, and then, oh shit, it ends in a draw, so guess what? We sell it for a 60-minute Iron Man next time. You've just main evented the next show, and you're going to put people in the seats. I have a promoter's mind, I just don't have the promoter's money. So let me tell you that. Yeah, that's what we're going to sell. You and Dante Martin, the 30-minute one. Now I don't want to release this because I would just give it away that it's a draw the first time around. Shit. Maybe I don't have a promoter's mind. All right.
If I could ever have a match with Dante Martin, it'd be one of those days I'm like, wow.
Yeah, Cloud9, right?
Yeah.
Cloud9. All right, Malik, give everybody your social medias where they can give you a follow and all of that happy stuff, and then promote your pro wrestling tees as well.
Okay, so you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jamardrick.
Where did that come from, by the way?
That's my real name.
Okay, well, we won't. Okay, go ahead and follow him there. We don't need to know your shoot name.
JAMARDRIC. And for Facebook, add me at Malik Mayfield.
That easy. You'll see a great picture of the cheer captain. And then you have, how many shirts do you have on Pro Wrestling Tees?
I have 2 shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Okay.
I have my Palms and Flags one that's red and white, and then I have my East Compton Clovers one from Bring It On that's on there too.
Nice. Favorite movie? Clearly, Bring It On.
No.
Oh, all right.
Bring It On's not my favorite movie.
Why not? I would think it has to be.
It's one of, but my favorite movie of all time is Love and Basketball.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Took a little bit of a spin there, but all right. I don't know why, but we'll find out the next time you come back on. That's a cliffhanger. That's what we do.
All right.
Malik, this has been a blast. Thank you for coming on Can Crushers. Again, guys, give him a follow. Hang out with him. See where he's going to be. Where are you going to be in the next couple of weeks, though?
I have a show New Year's Eve in Oklahoma City. It's UWO.
Do you know your opponent yet?
Drake Gallows.
Ooh. Nice.
Yeah, he's big in Oklahoma.
I know that name. Yeah.
And then I will be at Top of Texas January 8th. And then NCWO January 22nd in McAlester, Oklahoma.
So that's essentially his schedule for the next month. Make sure you follow him again. He posts. He's actually one of the better people that I've had on recently. That is social media wise. That you know that you need social media to promote yourself. To put again, I will always say, put asses in seats, and that gives you a better paycheck, right?
Yeah, I have a following. I don't know how, but I do.
I don't know how I have a following, Malik. So it's okay.
Yeah, I have a couple of people that follow me from the wrestling business, but
yeah. All right, buddy. Thanks for stopping by again, and we'll catch up with you here in the near future. All right.
All righty.
Can Crusher Nation, that was the cheer captain of professional wrestling, Malik Mayfield, and get ready. It's a spoiler. I've already sent the image that Malik has that may be coming on to one of his new shirts to my tattoo artist before I started editing this and putting the final touches on it, and she fell in love with it. So that may be slid up to one of the top next tattoos that I'm going to be getting on this sleeve that we talked about. So, yeah. Guys, how about Malik? I knew I was kind of right about cheerleading and wrestling kind of being in the same atmosphere, that he got a lot of his, moves from that, but a lot of his finesse and fitness and training essentially from that. It crosses over. I will wave that flag until the day I die. But yeah, I really do have a man crush now on Malik because he's named three things that are on the top of my list in life: cereal, professional wrestling, and of course, Big Brother. Yeah, what else? What else can we talk about? We can come back and we could probably put on a podcast of the top 10 cereals. Maybe have Robin come on, but we'll talk about it. Malik has kind of slid up above that list. No, I'm kidding. I love all professional wrestlers. Guys, make sure you get to anywhere that Malik is going to be at, along with the host of other wrestlers that we're going to have from this Oklahoma territory that just needs to be exploded and just talk about at NCWO. They're going to be there. Let's support that. But the other thing that you did hear me get heated about, and Malik and I, we love the women's wrestling. We need to get the awareness out there, get more wrestlers in that Oklahoma area. So, guys, if you're a talent or something like that, reach out. Let's give the stars that are there time to shine as well. I know people love traveling to Texas to, go see Mission Pro. Spend the weekend and maybe, trickle up and go to NCWO. Just let's build this base for them so, more people can get to see the women that are there. And I know I'm going to have more of them on here in the near future. So we'll be able to talk to them, kind of the struggles about what's going on, and just, the redundancy is the bad word that I don't want to use, but I have to, of just being the same. So, yeah, let's spread that out, but let's support indie wrestling across the board as we do all the time here on Can Crushers. Again, follow Malik on all his social medias, and, go out. If you really want to support, buy a shirt, man. Go to an event, buy an 8x10 if they're selling them. Support indie wrestling because that's what it's all about. And support Can Crushers. You can do that by heading to our website. Again, it's cancrushers69.wixsite.com/Can Crushers. We have merch on there as well. Hoodies, t-shirts, stainless steel tumblers, leggings, awesome cool stuff up there that you can support us as well. So, yeah. All right, guys, until next week, that's going to wrap up the Spotlight show, but we always end it this way. Just remember, just because you're trash, it doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot.